Hello there, and welcome. If you've been dealing with some kind of persistent ache or just a feeling of discomfort that won't go away, I'd love for you to just take a gentle pause with me today. We're going to explore a totally different way of listening to what our bodies might be trying to tell us.
What if that nagging ache in your back or that tension you feel in your head, what if it isn't just a random symptom? What if it's actually a profound, urgent message, a little note from the deepest part of you, just asking for your attention?
And really, this is for you. Yes, you, the one who is always working so hard, always pushing forward, always taking care of everyone and everything. You do so much. So let this be a moment of permission, a moment to just breathe and to listen without any judgment. It is absolutely okay to rest. You've earned it.
Okay, so let's get into this. We're all pretty good at saying, I'm fine, everything's okay, even when it really isn't. But you know what? Our bodies, they don't have that filter. They are the most honest interpreters of what's happening on the inside. When we have emotional stress or feelings we haven't dealt with, our body often translates them into physical signals. It just can't lie. Now, of course, these are interpretations, right? They're ways of seeing things that can help us reflect.
Now, this is where it gets really interesting. Our body can give us little clues based on where we feel the discomfort. So, as a general guide, issues on the right side of your body often connect to your external world. Things like your job, pressures from society, or what some people call your masculine go-getter energy. On the flip side, issues on the left side tend to relate to your inner world, your home life, your personal relationships, and that more receptive, feminine energy. It's a really fascinating first clue in decoding the message, isn't it?
So, keeping that in mind, let's become translators for a bit. We're going to look at some of the most common physical symptoms and start to explore the deeper spiritual messages they might be holding for you. All right, let's start with a big one that so many of us feel: back pain. If your back hurts, it's very often because you're such a dedicated, hardworking person. You carry so much. And I don't just mean physically, I mean emotionally, financially. You carry it for yourself and for the people you love. And so the message your body is sending is this gentle question: hey, are you maybe shouldering a little too much of this burden all on your own? This kind of pain is so often tied to worries about money or that heavy feeling that you have to be the only pillar of support with no one to lean on.
Your body isn't scolding you or demanding anything. It's just extending a really gentle invitation. Maybe you could just try saying the words, "help me," even if it's just quietly to yourself. Or maybe you could try to gently let go of that need to worry about and control the future and just trust that it will all work out. It's really all about allowing yourself to be supported for once. Okay, let's move on to headaches. If you're a high achiever, someone who holds yourself to really high standards, this one might just hit home. That constant pressure you feel in your head often perfectly mirrors the mental pressure you put on yourself day in and day out.
And here's the message, loud and clear. Your body is basically pleading with you to be kinder to yourself. That headache? It's a signal that your inner critic is working overtime. It's a sign that it might be time to release that tight grip of perfectionism, even just a little bit.
So the invitations here are all about self-compassion. Could you maybe try telling yourself, you know what, this is good enough? Or could you pause right now and praise yourself by saying, I'm doing a really good job, and actually try to feel it? You can even start physically. Just try to consciously relax that little bit of tension right between your eyebrows. These small acts of kindness to yourself can make such a huge difference.
All right, next up, let's talk about our gut. Our own language gives us so many clues here, doesn't it? We talk about situations we can't stomach or news that's hard to digest. Our digestive system is so deeply connected to how we process our life experiences.
So when your stomach starts acting up, it's often a very direct message. Your body is telling you that there is something, a really difficult situation, maybe an unfair event or a challenging person that you're trying to force yourself to just swallow and accept, but your spirit, your gut, is rejecting it.
And this brings us to what might be the most freeing invitation of all. Just stop trying to force it. You don't have to accept what feels unacceptable. Try giving yourself permission to just admit the truth to yourself. I don't like this, I don't agree with this, and that is completely and totally okay. Just acknowledging your true feelings is the very first step toward relief.
Now let's touch on high blood pressure. This condition is often a physical sign of long-term internal pressure that's been building and building over time without a healthy way to be released.
The message here is really all about containment. When we feel powerful emotions, especially things like anger or deep frustration, and we constantly suppress them and hold them in, well, they don't just vanish. They build pressure inside our system, and that can show up physically as high blood pressure.
So the invitation here is about release. Think of it like a kettle on the stove, right? The goal isn't to stop the water from boiling, but to find small, safe ways to let the steam out before the whole thing boils over. This could be anything. Maybe it's journaling your frustrations, talking honestly with a friend you trust, or even just letting yourself feel that anger in a private, safe space without any judgment.
Okay, so we've learned how to translate some of these messages. But now what? How do we actually respond? Let's walk through a really simple but beautiful practice to open up a dialogue with your own body.
The next time you feel that ache or that pain, just try this. First, gently place a hand on the area that hurts. Then, in your mind, speak to it with the same tenderness you would use for a small child. You can say something like, "Thank you. Thank you for this message." And then you can add, "You were telling me I'm pushing myself too hard. I hear you now. It's okay." By simply acknowledging the message, you let your body know it's been heard, and that's when it can finally begin to relax.
And this brings us to maybe the most important shift in perspective of this whole explainer. We're going to completely reframe how we think about things like pain and illness.
For so much of our lives, we're taught to fight our pain, to see it as this enemy that we have to defeat or get rid of. But what if that's not its purpose at all? What if it's not actually here to make you suffer?
What if, instead of an enemy, that pain is actually your ally? Think of it like a loyal friend, a really important safety alert coming from your own body. It's the alarm bell that rings to say, hey, we need a little course correction here. Or sometimes it's just saying, my dear friend, it is time to rest for a bit. So often, our first instinct is just to reach for something to silence the alarm, right? And look, sometimes that's necessary. But this practice invites us to take one crucial step first. Before you turn off the siren, just pause and ask with some genuine curiosity, okay, why did you ring in the first place?
When you start to listen in this new way, you'll find that your body has this incredible wisdom all its own, and that its deepest desire is just for you to be well. So I'll leave you with this question to carry with you. In the quiet moments, right now, what is your body trying to tell you?